Welcome back to Totally Abstracted, the podcast where we explore all things art, creativity, and the tools to help you juggle your creative passion with the rest of life's demands. I'm your host, Michelle, and today we're diving into a topic that's especially helpful for creatives like us, those of us who are trying to balance day jobs and side projects, and that topic is time blocking versus task batching. Now, I know firsthand how overwhelming it can be to switch between the different hats we wear, whether it's a parent, a partner, an employee, or a creative. Each demands its own attention, and often we find ourselves wishing for more hours in the day. That's where today's two productivity strategies come in. So let's explore these methods to see which one might help you make time for your passion projects without burning out. Okay, let's start with time blocking. This technique involves dividing your day into blocks of time, with each block dedicated to a specific task or group of tasks. So, for example, instead of checking emails or social media in random bursts throughout the day, you set aside a specific block of time, say from 9 to 10 just for emails. Then you might set aside 10 to 12 for a more creative task like painting, writing, or brainstorming new ideas. The beauty of time blocking is that it gives you structure. You know what you'll be working on and when, which helps to reduce decision fatigue and keeps you on track. This method is perfect for people who like having a plan, but also want some flexibility within it. You can adjust your blocks based on your energy levels or external commitments. For those of us balancing busy jobs with creative side hustles, time blocking allows you to carve out specific chunks of time for your art, whether it's an hour in the evening or a focused Saturday morning session. But here's where creatives sometimes get stuck with time blocking. We don't always want to stop when the clock tells us to. Creativity isn't always something you can just turn off because it's lunchtime. That's one downside. You might be deep into your flow state and have to interrupt yourself because your next time block is waiting. So on the other hand then, we have task batching. This method groups similar tasks together and works through them all in one go. So instead of jumping from emails to creating content to sketching ideas in one day, you would batch similar tasks. For example, you could dedicate a few hours on Monday just for answering emails, then use Tuesday for your creative tasks like painting or writing, and Wednesday could be your social media day. By focusing on just one category of work at a time, task batching minimises the mental switching that can drain energy and lower productivity. Now, task batching can work wonders for people who have lots of different types of tasks on their to-do list. It's especially useful for creators managing a side hustle alongside a full-time job because it lets you concentrate fully on one type of task. You're not constantly shifting gears, which can be especially tiring when balancing a day job. Plus, you can knock out your admin or repetitive tasks in one go, freeing up time later in the week for your creative projects. However, the challenge with task batching is that creative work doesn't always fit neatly into a batch. You might start with a plan to only do admin work today, but then inspiration hits and suddenly you're in a creative flow that doesn't align with your batching schedule. As creatives, sometimes our best work comes in those spontaneous bursts of energy. So which method works better for creatives balancing day jobs with passion projects? Well, here's my view. It doesn't have to be one or the other. You can absolutely use both, depending on the type of tasks you're working on. For example, I find time blocking is ideal for making sure I have set times for my creative work. I'll block off specific hours each week where my sole focus is on painting and nothing else gets scheduled during that time. But for my admin work, like emails, social media, and editing my podcast or YouTube videos, task batching works better. I dedicate a few hours to doing specific categories of these tasks. So emails first, then social media, task batching really within the time block I've set aside for admin tasks. That way, I'm not hopping back and forth between creative work and admin tasks, and not hopping back and forth between different types of admin tasks either. If you're juggling a day job, start with small time blocks, maybe 30 minutes in the evening to work on your creative project, or a few hours on the weekend. And for those admin tasks that drain your creative energy, batch them. Get them out of the way so you can enjoy your time in the studio, in front of your easel, or at your writing desk without interruptions. At the end of the day, whether you're more of a time blocker or a task batcher, it's about finding what works best for you and your unique creative rhythm. I recommend trying both methods, experimenting with them to see how they fit into your life. If you're someone who thrives on routine and structure, time blocking might be your new best friend. But if you prefer really getting into deeply one type of work and getting it all done, then task batching could be the way forward. And remember, balancing a day job with your passion projects isn't easy, but it is possible. It's absolutely possible. You just need to find the tools that work for you. That's all for today's episode of Totally Abstracted. I hope this gave you some insights into how you can manage your time better and make space for your creativity. If you like this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, share it with a fellow creative who might need this. And as always, let me know which method works best for you by leaving a comment on my latest post or sending me a message. I love hearing about how you're managing your time and finding balance. Until next time, keep creating and stay inspired.